Almost every fighter who is fighting tonight has a nickname associated with their name. However, Adam Smith does not, and he's the one guy on the card that is screaming for a nickname. When your name is Adam Smith or Joe Smith or Mike Smith, like, you need a nickname.
Yeah, just so the people know at home, he does not look like his name is Adam Smith.
You do not think that as well, yeah, but there should be, and also just some kind of flair associated with such a plain name. We'll see what kind of a fighter that Adam Smith proves to be as he is going to step into the cage against Moziah Clark. There's the tail of the tape. Adam Smith with a big height advantage over Clark. We'll see if that'll help him in this one. All right, there's Smith. Now let's take a look at Clark.
And his opponent fighting out of the blue corner, Moziah Clark.
Here comes Moziah Clark. Clark a full 4 inches shorter than Smith, but looks pretty pumped up and in shape for this fight as they are taking a look at Clark coming into the cage right now. Clark fighting out of the Chosen Few gyms, and our first Chosen Few fighter that is going to be in the cage tonight. We will see how he'll fare against Smith as we send it up to our ring announcer.
How about a round of applause for our beautiful ring girl? Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner. This man weighed in at 125 pounds. Fighting out of Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Representing Regulate MMA, Adam Smith. And his opponent fighting out of the blue corner. He also weighed in at 125 pounds. Fighting out of Madison, Wisconsin, representing Chosen Few Gym, Moziah Clark.
We'll see early on if Clark is going to be able to close that reach and height advantage that Adam Smith has, as both fighters touch gloves in the center of the cage, and we are set for action here at Monona Terrace. Clark coming right in on Smith and trying to get the takedown, and he's got it. Puts Smith on his back early on in the fight and lands a couple of lefts as well.
Yep, Smith had a nice knee in the clinch there, and he's already working off his back pretty well. I'm going to imagine he's pretty well versed in all areas of the game. He's got a pretty good corner. UFC veteran Eric Koch is working it for him, and I know he's kind of the new head guy for the Regulators fight team, so I'm interested to see how one of his pupils here does in one of his first matches.
Yeah, absolutely. How much of it do you think, like, if you're a fighter in the UFC, now you become a trainer and you're the guy that's teaching, how much of that do you think you try to give to someone who you're teaching? How much of yourself, how much of that style comes through?
I mean, I think it makes a big difference and it helps a lot. Not everybody can teach as well as they can perform, but I know Eric personally, and I know he's a really good coach, so I'm excited to see what happens here. But right now, Adam finds himself on bottom. He's moving, to his credit. He's really trying to get up. He's trying to make space. Here he's going for a little hip bump sweep. He's trying to make some things happen, but Clark is doing a good job staying on top, not really doing anything to finish the fight necessarily, but he's racking up points right now. He's staying on top, landing some ground and pound, and just being dominant.
Yeah, doing some suffocating there, chest to chest, as Clark has been sticky on top of Adam Smith here in this first round. A 3-round fight. all 3 minutes, as this is our second amateur fight of the night. We do have an AMI title fight that is going to be coming up a little bit later on, and then 3 pro fights as well on the card tonight. As Clark has basically been on top of Smith for this entire round. I mean, 30 seconds into it, got the takedown, and has been on top since then.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job of keeping Smith's shoulders like mostly flat on the mat. That makes it really hard to get up. And see here, Smith again did a good job getting to the cage, try to work for that hip up sweep. Now he might threaten a guillotine and try to wall walk his way out of there. But, you know, like I said, Clark is just driving in, trying to keep pressure on him. He's keeping pressure very high on Smith's body. And, you know, if I was Smith, I'd probably change my tactics just a little bit. Maybe go for a butterfly sweep or something like that to off balance. But now he's got that underhook. He was kind of looking for a shoulder lock there. But, again, Smith staying active is just doesn't have a lot of room to move. Here's going for an arm bar, it looks like. Wall walking against Gale. Well, that was pretty good attempt. Couldn't quite keep it, though.
And Clark now able to get some shots in as he was using his legs to drive Smith all the way into the cage, and got a couple of shots there as, again, like you called it, and it looked like a possible arm bar, but Clark was able to break free and now is back in command.
Yeah, again, Clark just dominant with the top position, doing real good wrestling. But, you know, Smith making him work. He's threatening submissions, threatening armbar. He's threatening a Kimura right now. So he's doing everything he can to try to make something happen.
Bell rings for the first round. A good one for Moziah Clark. We'll head to round number 2. You're watching the Chosen Few Fighting Championships number 20, and you're watching TVW.
Working pretty well off his back. Yeah. Avoiding a lot of the big shots, at least. I guess if there's a silver lining, right?
Yeah.
See Mark Lemminger there giving some instruction to his fighter Moziah Clark, who had a pretty good first round, and we're going to test these young amateurs' actual cardio and their stamina and see how they do as you go into round number 2 for these guys that don't have a lot of experience fighting. Sometimes it's hard to go from round to round, isn't it?
You know, it can be, but honestly, the sport's been around long enough. Guys are in shape. They know what to expect. Put in the hours in the gym, and like they both seem pretty fresh right now.
So coming out here in round number 2, Smith looking to do some striking here as he seems pretty comfortable in the cage doing that. Clark, though, getting in right away and getting another takedown and landing hard on top of Smith.
So Smith did a really good thing at the very beginning of that round. He threw a front kick right down the middle. He threatened down the middle to let Clark know that he shouldn't get close to him. But then right after that, he made a slight mistake. Clark did a good job coming in, showing some hands of his own. But then when Smith pulled his head back, he kind of took himself out of position to defend the takedown. That allowed Clark in. And now Clark, again, just really good dominant top pressure. Smith really working on that Kimura, but Clark is mostly doing the right thing right now. He's kind of going to half guard. He's driving his head across that top shoulder of Smith. You know, he's mostly keeping himself out of danger for right now. But Smith definitely a little more sense of urgency, a little more active. If I'm in Clark's court, I'm like, hey, look, you won that first round. You know, you cooked him pretty good off your back. Let's try and pass a little bit. Let's open up for some bigger strikes and maybe get something going. But again, just as I say that, Smith walking those legs up, doing a much better job trying to threaten some more arm bars and probably a triangle right here as Clark does what he can to get his arms back in position, land some more strikes.
Clark twice has done a good job of closing the gap when they were both on their feet. And now Clark again in that top position. This time now looking to land some blows, and he's gotten a couple in on to Smith as Clark maintains that top position.
Yeah, much better ground and pound there from Clark. He kind of felt like, all right, I can hold this guy down a little bit, so I'm going to be a little more comfortable and create some space for some bigger strikes, right? Because that's the trade-off. If I give you space to get those bigger strikes in, there's a possibility you might do something like that and threaten a triangle or stand up. But see, now we hear Smith's been working off his back his whole time. He's got to get control of that head. He's really, really close to getting a triangle. Clark doing a good job. He's posturing up. He's getting his head back, getting his butt down. Still looking for strikes. It's not that close yet, but man, we're right around the corner from a submission if Clark doesn't address this real soon. We're really close. If he keeps that head, he might still get it.
And it looks like he might, and now Clark doing the best that he can to get Smith off of him.
This is going to be it unless Smith makes a mistake or unless Clark's got more room than I think he does, but he's got that really, really tight right now. Maybe a couple more adjustments and just holding that squeeze.
Clark doing a good job not panicking there. Both guys, actually, for being amateurs, have kept their composure,
tight.
and now it's on there pretty good.
That is tight.
Clark is in trouble. Yeah, 20 seconds left in the round. Clark looking to hold on. Smith's got that triangle on him pretty good.
Oh, there's a little bit of a gap there. Oh, he might be all right. Short time.
Final 10 seconds, and the ref trying to check it out. Clark still defending, still holding on for this end of the round, and he's able to survive it. Wow. It was in there pretty good, and Smith just about got him with the triangle, but Clark survives, and we'll go to round number 3 for the exciting conclusion of this one right after this on TVW.
That was all she wrote. He just had just enough space.
Taking a look at the replay in action from round number 2 right here. Clark was in a good position. His hands were free, and he was doing work, but then he got caught a little bit later on in that triangle that almost ended the fight.
Yeah, you see here he's opening up for that ground and pound, and Smith opens up and he gets that triangle at the very end, and man, it was all but over. You know, if this was a 5-minute round, I think that would have been the fight, but luckily for Clark, amateur rounds are only 3 minutes, so he showed a lot of toughness, gutted it out.
Able to hang in there and bring it to a 3rd round. Now, both of these first 2 rounds has been very little on the feet as Clark has been able to close that reach gap and put Smith on the ground, but Smith has done a great job on his back in both rounds.
See, now Clark is being a little more hesitant. He knows Smith can possibly finish this fight on the ground. Coming in with some nice striking. His head's a little high, but good catch of the kick. We'll see if he wants to jump back in there. Yeah, now he's thinking about it a little bit more. Really nice cartwheel pass.
Showing some acrobatics as he cartwheels over Smith to get on top of him. That was a fancy move, and the crowd loved it.
Yeah, really nice cartwheel pass. He landed in half guard there, but now we're back into where we left off in round 2. So I would expect to see Clark be a little more conservative, a little more like round 1. He wants to stay safe and probably get the decision and make Smith work a little bit more. Smith, again, right away, climbing the ladder with those legs, really trying to open up and get something working so he can finish the fight. He got real close in that 2nd round. He smells blood in the water. He's going to open up a lot and try to get this action going so he can get to something here in this 3rd round, because if he doesn't, I think he loses a decision.
I think you're right, as Clark now trying to get some blows into the side of Adam Smith. He's been on top a lot in this fight, but hasn't done a whole heck of a lot of damage with his hands. He had some ground and pound moments. We saw that in round number 2, but hasn't done a lot of damage to Adam Smith.
Right, so Smith is doing very well as he's trying to control the wrist and the posture and really utilizing his legs and like mobility on bottom, and it's making it hard for Clark to land anything clean. Like right here, we see Smith rolling underneath, really trying to go for that arm bar, you know, threatening overhooks, grabbing the wrist, just kind of making Clark's life difficult, holding his head down like that. And again, Clark wants to stay on top, so he's not trying to wrist fight on top as much as he maybe could, so much as he's holding around the body just to keep him down and keep that dominant spot.
So if you were Clark right now, what's your thought? What's your strategy here at this point?
If I'm Clark or I'm in his corner, I'm going to tell him to get his hands on the inside. I always want to control the inside, especially right here. I tell him to circle back so he squares up with his opponent. But get hands to the inside, elbows off the mat. Keep your hands and elbows on your opponent and look for his wrist. Pin his wrist down and across his body so you can get some clean strikes and work to pass, and then really open up with some ground and pound of your own or get a dominant position like mount or the back and possibly get a finish or a submission.
Very good fight, and we are down to 30 seconds in round number 3, the final deciding round here. It's been a close one, and a good flurry here and a good finish really could possibly sway the judges in what is probably a close fight.
Right, yeah, the 2nd round you could give to Smith. He was closer to finishing with that triangle, but right now with Clark being on top, I would think they're going to give him this 3rd round. He's landed more strikes, and Smith just hasn't had the same success off his back in the 3rd round as he has in the 2nd.
Good work by both fighters, and this fight has come to an end. Should be an interesting decision. The crowd loved it. They roared for that cartwheel pass, and they are very appreciative of a good fight here at Monona Terrace. All right, we're back for the official decision right after this on TVW. Excellent fight in our second fight of the night between Clark and Smith, and we believe it's going to be a close one. We'll see what the judges have to say right now.
All right, how about a round of applause for these two fighters? We go to the judges' scorecard for a decision. All three judges score this contest 29-28 for the winner. Fighting out of the blue corner, Moziah Clark.
Just about what we thought. We thought Clark got rounds 1 and 3, and all three judges saw it that way as well, as Clark comes away victorious by the slimmest of margins. Great fight. We hopefully will have some more for you as well straight ahead on Chosen Few Fighting Championships number 20 on TVW.